Hello and welcome to the Animation Triad. To the Animation Triad. Welcome. Hello and welcome to Animation Triad, your guide to the many worlds of animation. I, of course, am your humble host, Stu, and with me today, as usual, is...
Teddy D.
That's right, and joining us today for the first time is our lovely friend...
Maggie.
That's right, and Maggie, what are we reviewing today?
Today we are looking at Kirikou and the Sorceress.
Kirikou n'est pas grand, mais il est vaillant, mais il est vaillant. Kirikou est petit, mais il peut beaucoup. Kirikou est petit, mais il peut beaucoup.
We here at Animation Triad have some simple questions for you. Do you like cartoons?
Yes.
Do you like anime?
Yes.
Do you like animated stuff in general?
Oh God, yes!
Well then, we've got a channel for you. That's right, Animation Triad. Click like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to get all the animated reviews you could want. As usual, we will be discussing 3 talking points, and they are...
The folklore aspect of the film.
The message behind the film.
and the controversy that prevented this film from being released stateside for so long. So strap in, initiates, and welcome to the Triad. Kirikou and the Sorceress was released in 1998 and is directed by Michel Ocelot.
That's a crazy cat.
I didn't think we'd get it that quick. Ready? When there's a pun gun. Oh! Right on the money today! Alright, so let's reload and get going.
I'm coming, honey. I forget the name from that.
Red Fox.
Red Fox.
So, it was produced by 3 studios. A French studio, Belgian studio, and Luxembourg, which apparently is not in Germany. I just learned this.
Huh.
Yes. So, it was not released stateside until about 2003, or 2 if I remember correctly, so we will discuss that aspect of it a little down the lane. But let's begin with a summary of it. Maggie, would you like to start the summary?
The movie depicts how a newborn boy is all set within the first day or 2 of his life, comes to save his village from the evil witch Karaba. And it goes through him asking, why is she doing this? He goes into her hut to find out what's in there that's so special. Why is she being so mean? All the way through to his seeking out his grandfather, who is a wise man, to ask him, why is she doing this? What can be done to save my village?
I think that's a very concise summary of it, yeah. Is there anything you'd like to add to it?
I actually like the lesson of the film. Like, I do like how he... Because it's not your classic myth where it's like the hero goes and he stabs something and then hero.
Kind of the reverse of that one.
Yeah.
So yes, you mentioned mythology. That is a big aspect of this. This is all based on West African folklore, as written by a French guy. Irony is not lost there. This is a film set in Africa.
Pre-colonial Africa.
Pre-colonial Africa, as you said, yes. So traditional garb, which basically means, well, to put it bluntly, tits out. So yeah, that's something we're going to talk about later. And why you may or may not see a lot of clips in this episode. We must address the fact that, yes, we're all white. And we are talking about a film... I know, it's news to you.
Right.
Yes, shocking.
See?
We have approval.
Yep.
It's okay. So there, that out of the way, let's begin talking a bit more about it. As you said, he's basically born, but, well...
Mère, enfante-moi.
Un enfant qui parle dans le ventre de sa mère s'enfante tout seul.
Talk about a clap back.
I know.
Dang.
I did love how, like, you know, he just came out and like,
Yeah.
and I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
m'appelle Kirikou.
I got shit to do, man. Come on.
Well, he does play in the water and get yelled at because they're low on water in this village.
Yes.
They're very low on water in this village.
Yeah.
And of course, this is because of the evil sorceress Karaba, who has dried up their spring, basically. And of course, he then asks the question of, why is she so evil?
And he's told, don't waste my time. She just is.
Pretty much. This is a common occurrence throughout the entire film. He's constantly asking people why Karaba is the way she is. And, well, the answer we will talk about more in detail as we get to that point. But first, we're going to talk a little bit more about basically the setup for the village. All the men are gone because, as his mother tells him, your father and his brothers and all of them were eaten by Karaba.
I went to fight her. She ate them.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
So he decides he's going to go join the only other man left in the village, basically,
His uncle.
who is going to go fight her. Note, he is approximately 5 minutes old at this point.
Yeah.
And he chases after his uncle.
And he moves very, very
Yeah,
fast.
he's- He's apparently Speedy Gonzales
Yes,
of
yes.
West Africa.
He catches up with his uncle, who is surprised as heck to see him and doesn't believe that it's his nephew because, well, would you? I mean, come on, it's a little
Right.
prima baby pops up out of nowhere,
There
talking.
is a common recurrence of people saying, "Well, he's fast, okay," and just accepting it.
Mm-hmm.
He's a day old. It's his first day of life, but we'll accept the fact that he.
Yeah.
But it is folklore,
Mhm.
so.
That is, folklore is a very big aspect of this film. He then goes and steals a hat from the only other man in the tribe, an old guy.
An old guy.
Mm-hmm. And he rushes back and basically is there to watch his uncle's back for it when he is introduced to Karaba, the sorceress, and her army of fetishes.
Yes.
Amazing.
Not what you think.
Yeah,
Or maybe a little what you
Maybe.
think.
Who knows? It
If
depends
you
on-
gotta see it.
depends on your preferences.
Right.
In this regard, we mean totems, basically.
Yeah. They're like little. They're like little robots.
No,
Yeah.
they're
No.
objects. They're like animated objects.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that are obedient to the person that controls them,
Mhm.
which is another, it's a big thing, big part of West African
Oh,
culture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, they moved very robotically.
Yeah, they're
They're
very
wood,
stiff.
so
So,
that made
which
sense.
made me think aliens.
So, with the help of Kirikou, his uncle fights off some of the fetishes.
Amazing.
That's a phrase I thought I'd never be saying. And Karaba sees that the hat is talking, or she thinks the hat is talking.
Yes.
She says, "I want that magic hat, and I will leave your village alone if you give it to me." So he's just like, "Yeah, sure."
All right.
Yeah.
So he drops the hat with Kirikou hiding in it, and basically pimps off back to the village. And then she sends the fetishes after it. Once again, that's not going to get any easier to say. To reclaim the hat. And Kirikou, wearing said hat, runs away with it. So it looks like the hat is moving by itself. And eventually he makes a fake hat, and it gets crushed by the fetish. And she realizes that the hat was not magic at all. So she sends the fetishes back. This is going to be a drinking game, folks, every time we say that word.
Yeah.
And it's going to be said a lot. To basically say, back to the village and says, "Listen, you done goofed. Now, every single one of you has to give us all the gold in your village."
Whatever you have left that you haven't been
Given to
forced
us.
to give me already.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And if all the women have to give us all their gold, jewelry, and all that fun stuff, and if you don't, I'm going to burn your village down. So all the women gather their stuff and take it to her. And can we just say that Karaba, she was the best dressed out of all of them, really. She
Yeah.
looked amazing. I mean, the art for this film is all traditionally done, and it
Yeah.
is beautiful to look at. we'll see if we can show you some clips here and there,
Right.
but it might get a little awkward. Traditional garb.
Yes.
Western norms and YouTube policies and all that.
Maybe we could put up some apples.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You're gonna end up like.
we're going to need some big apples for
Well,
some
you're
of
gonna end up blocking her.
her
jewelry.
She's got some...
She's got some amazing nipple jewelry. I'm just gonna say that now.
And then maybe. Like,
well, breast
grapes.
jewelry.
Yeah. All the women return to the village after giving up what they thought was all the gold, and Karaba sends these fetishes back, and they discover that one person, one older woman, had kept a necklace.
She
So
got
they
rid
burn
of-
her house down,
Ow.
her hut down.
Yeah.
And there's no water around them, so well, there's like a mile away a river or something, but by the time they'd get there, it'd be gone.
Right.
And I'm actually very surprised the whole village didn't burn down. That's some controlled fire right there.
Yeah. Well, at least she didn't punish everyone.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
No, Kirikou's mother was very, very chill about the whole process.
She probably had just like given up and like
Yeah.
just couldn't bring herself to care anymore.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah. 'Cause
God knows that I felt that now and then.
Right.
Personally,
She was just, we don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn.
damn straight. In all honesty, I felt like she was on Valium for most of the film.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but it just seemed like she was very chill about everything
Right.
going on. She's just like, okay, so that got burnt down. She's not happy. But you know what? I'm going to take you to the watering hole. We're going to get some water. Here, you're, what, 2 days old now? Why don't you watch the kids in the playing in the river?
Yeah.
But I'm so small and tiny. I'll do it anyway.
Oh.
Because he's very determined. He is. And the kids don't want anything to do with him because he's so small and tiny. And then a magical boat shows up. And these idiots climb into it. Raba has obviously sent this magical boat.
Yes.
And, of course, Kirikou, like, calls him out, like, yo, dudes, that's the witch's boat. Y'all are dumb as hell.
Yeah.
And they go, screw you, basically, we are on this boat. Then the boat speeds off towards the witch's house, 'cause duh. And I hear you asking this, or I'm going to pretend you're asking this, why don't they just jump off the boat?
Because they're stupid.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
mean, they got on a boat, and it didn't even offer candy. So it was just like,
Yeah.
you know.
So then Kirikou pulls his Speedy Gonzales
Right.
and grabs a knife from someone, jumps onto the boat, and starts drilling holes in... I mean, this is like Looney Tunes almost
I know.
right here.
Like, he was like a tiny Rambo.
Yeah.
Just,
No.
He saves all the children, who then have a song and dance all about how awesome he is. And the woman he stole the knife from comes up and says, "You saved them, you are so brilliant. Everyone should listen to what you have to say and follow what you
Right.
say." 5 seconds later, the children climb up a very suspicious tree after Kirikou tells them, "Yo, that's the witch's tree. She sent that to get you guys. Don't climb it." And they say, "What do you know? You're small and tiny." Motherfucker, you just sang a song about how great this guy is and how smart he is, and you pull shit like this. You all deserve to die. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I mean, Darwinism at work here.
natural selection.
Says you should not be alive anymore. And of course, the tree uproots itself, literally, and hauls ass towards the witch. So what does Kirikou do?
Goes after it.
With a fucking machete!
Which he ganks.
Yeah.
That seems to be a common theme with him
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Big time. Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
No one else is doing
That was,
shit.
that was
Yeah.
my favorite part of the movie. Just the whole, give me your shit.
Yeah. And he chops it down with the help of the kids, like, flailing around. And the witch is getting pissed at this. Which is understandable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're fucking up her shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, she's got a sweet gig going on now.
Right.
I mean, it's just like, give me your gold, I take your men, I eat them apparently, and now I'm taking your kids because fuck you.
Yeah.
So, then, Kirikou decides that, you know what, enough of this going back and forth to the water, down the miles down the road, that's too much work. Let's go investigate this cursed spring that dried up. And he finds what I'm assuming is like some sort of mutant lizard elephant thingy.
It's a little
sucking
creature.
up all the water.
A big. Little creature.
Liz Elephant.
Yeah, Liz Elephant. There you go.
Lizaphant.
Lizafin. It sounds like something out of Avatar, and I'm gonna have to pay the tangent for that. When we go off tangent, there's a tangent jar. It helps funds us.
Except no substitutes.
Word. So, to solve this problem, he thinks, I should get my uncle. But my uncle can't get through the small crack in the mountain where the water comes out. So what does he do?
He ganks shit.
That he does. A poker! And he blows up the Liz Elephant.
Liz Elephant, yes.
And almost drowns in the process. And this is a rather touching scene, you see, with everyone reacting to him, going like, oh, he was such a hero and everything. He brought water back. And then his mother basically helps push out the water of a small, now I'm assuming 3-day-old body.
Yeah.
And he comes back to life, basically.
Well, they sing him a song.
Oh, yeah, yes, they do sing a song.
I think that they bring him back with song.
Was that?
To a degree.
I could see that.
Yeah, you know, it was...
Okay, we'll go with that.
Kind of like, you're the best around.
No one's ever gonna get you down. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Or, let's see. So then, basically, he decides, you know what? Why is she so evil? Why is Karaba so evil?
Because sorcerers are always evil.
Yeah.
And his mother says something which I thought was very interesting. She's no more evil than anyone else. She just has power. And that is a great line. There are some very good lines in this movie.
Yes.
There really are. And he decides, you know what? I want to find out more. And she tells him that the only person who could answer your questions is your grandfather, the wise man, who lives beyond the mountain. He knows all, while Karaba clouds all. And she doesn't let anyone get past the mountain. So you have to get past her, get past the mountain, get past...
I'm sorry, real quick. There was one thing that made... It's like, Kirikou did kind of ask a dumb question. Where his mother had just got done saying, he lives in the mountain. It's like, where is
In the mountain.
In the mountain.
Yeah.
I just got done.
I wonder if that was a translation issue, maybe.
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 No one's perfect.
No, true.
Everybody asks a dumb question now and then.
Right.
Even 2
He's
year olds.
3 days old, not years. He's 3 days old. The fact that he can do any of this is a miracle unto itself.
Fair enough. He gets one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets one dumb question.
So, Kirikou has the problem of Karaba's fetish on her roof.
Hey, phrasing!
Still not getting any easier.
Yeah.
That's always watching him. So he uses his mom to help hide him so that he can go into basically a gopher hole, or meerkat hole, whatever they have over there. I'm not 100% sure in that rough area. And tunnel underground with his father's knife to get through to the mountain. And this actually goes on for quite some time with him going through it, and he thinks he gets lost, and then he encounters No, it's what does he encounter in the tunnels?
Oh, in the tunnels.
He encounters what I first thought was a skunk, because it's black and white, looks like a skunk, and shoots stink out of its anal gland. I didn't know they had skunks in Africa. Apparently, it's not a skunk per se. It is a African polecat / African skunk, which is not really related to what we consider a skunk.
Skunks are their own
thing. I think this is closer to like a badger or something, possibly. It's a tense, weird scene.
Yeah.
Surreal.
Well, what part of this movie is not a little surreal?
Well, it's folklore. So then he gets out of there after saving a bunch of little squirrel things, and they help him out by giving him berries and stuff, and helping him get past the fetish on the roof. The forgotten aspect of Fiddler on the Roof.
I think that was the fetish.
Oh.
Does that count as a pun?
That was a pun for me, yeah, so, it's rare, but it does happen. I occasionally do make puns.
Get yourself in the neck.
Okay, by all means. Ha! Has yet to happen.
Okay.
Maybe next time, folks.
Next time, Gadget.
Next time. Engine. Hey up. Alright. So, he then has to get past the fetish on the roof still, which is still peeking around. So he disguises himself as a bird, which actually looks pretty cool.
Au revoir, les amis. Bon, courage. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But then a bird, which he pissed off earlier, comes at him.
Right.
And,
Comes at him, bro.
yeah, indeed. And the little squirrel things help him out again.
Yeah.
So then he gets past there, and then he encounters, Pumbaa!
Mais je suis libre et en sécurité.
Apparently very
Yeah,
pissed off
yeah.
Pumbaa. He basically outsmarts the warthog and uses it to ride it around on, which I thought was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
En avant. Là, tu ne peux pas me mordre. Je n'ai pas lâché. Tu es sensible des oreilles. Je crois que j'ai trouvé une monture pour explorer la montagne.
And he then gets to the red termite mound where his grandfather lives.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another part of the folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the idea of a sage sitting so still for so long that termites build a mound around them, and they live in a termite mound because sages do that sort of thing.
Right. Well, it seems smart. I mean, usually you want to try and get rid of termites.
Yeah.
But he's utilizing them
Yeah.
To make a house.
for property.
Yeah.
I've certainly heard of this in Indian folklore, actually.
Really? Oh.
Totally different continent, but
Yeah.
Right.
sages that sit so long, so still that termites just build mounds around them.
He then goes into the termite mound, which opens up for him if he's worthy, and he is. Of course he is. He's a bloody 5-day-old infant, which has conquered a warthog, bested a witch several times, and can speak and walk and talk. And
His resume's solid.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, this scene was really cool.
It was.
Yeah.
The introduction of his grandfather and the birds.
Bonjour, grand-père.
Bonjour, Kirikou.
That was sweet. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. And he asked his grandfather, "Why is Karaba evil?" And he says, "Because she is in pain."
And this is probably one of my favorite lessons I've ever seen in any movie, ever. Not just animated movies, any movie, because it is a universal truth. There are always exceptions. There's psychopaths, but even then, half the time, it's because they were abused and their pain is emotional and deep and at that point incurable. But Karaba's is not.
No, she has, well, what happened to her was a group of evil men. Why they were evil, we don't know. This is never really addressed. Shoved a poisonous thorn in her back, which she cannot get out.
Yeah.
And that's apparently what gave her her magical powers. So, yeah. So basically, what happens next is he says, okay, well, I'm going to go remove that thorn.
Yeah.
And he tunnels under her hut, into it. What was the phrase you used?
Ganked.
Yes! He ganked all of the jewelry and gold that she had stolen. And...
Straight bling and yo.
Damn straight. Yeah. So he makes off with that. Karaba finds out, and she ain't happy, is she?
No.
What does she do?
Well, first she tries to send the fetishes after him to find out what happened. And then the snake.
Yes.
Which, you know, chases him through tunnels and he manages to, like, build a wall and trick the snake into going back up into her hut. Empty
mouth.
Mouth, I guess?
It is a snake.
Yeah. It looks so confused. I felt so sad for her because it's just like
what?
Imbécile!
And then she finds out that he is outside the hut and buried all the gold in front of a tree. She's like, okay, that's it. I'm getting my shanking spear. And
my poison shanking spear.
Yes, poison shanking spear. And she says, I'm gonna go kill him. So she goes to dig up the gold. And while her back is exposed...
He jumps down and yanks it out with his teeth.
Yep.
Like a balls.
Straight balling.
By the way, I think it should be mentioned that while she's walking through the forest to get to the gold, the forest is dying around her as she walks through. And after he pulls it out, everything comes back to life and it blooms. It's gorgeous.
Everything, even the poisoned land around her hut was stored.
Yes.
So that was really cool. That was good animation, to say the least. Yeah. Well, then it gets a little awkward because
he wants to marry her.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. And she's just like, well, no.
She's like, you're a little boy. Someday you'll say this to little girls. They'll be very lucky. And she says, sorceress or no, I will be servant to no one. Which is amazing. It's amazing feminist line right there.
Yes. And then he says, well, can you kiss me?
Yeah, just kiss me. And she's like, well, okay. Yeah. And he grows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He grows up.
He grows up, all right. And she's like, okay, now I'm cool with it.
She's like, well, to be fair, he grew into a very handsome, strong young man, and he's an adult now. She's not a child molester.
She doesn't have to deal with him far more powerful force, the CPA. So.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
So yeah, after that awkward scene, they're like, we should probably have you dressed, because he's been running around butt naked this entire time, and now he's got clothing.
Well, he's an adult now.
Yeah, he's an adult now.
Kids, it's okay to be butt naked.
Right.
Adults, you have to have your bottom half covered.
Yeah.
At least a little bit. It's like
a little something.
Right. It's like, just below his junk.
Right.
But.
Yeah. So he goes back to the village with Karaba as his new wife, who is now no longer a sorceress, and she's like, thank you for returning me to who I was.
Yeah.
And, the village ain't having it.
Well, once again, folklore. Okay, so anyone who knows Joseph Campbell, the hero's journey, the hero returns home, he's never welcomed home. Never! There always has to be one final trial when he gets home where everybody's like, fuck off with your newfound knowledge and your newfound strength, whatever you've gained.
In all honesty, I mean, he left as a little child and came back the next day, a couple days as a grown-ass adult, so I can kind of understand that. And it takes his mom coming out and saying, yes, this is my son, to let them be okay.
And they still wanted to kill him.
Right.
Oh, they wanted to kill the witch.
Well, they said...
it was the witch.
Yeah,
they wanted to kill
it was pretty solid, okay.
Karaba. And then, all of a sudden, who shows up?
The men.
The men.
Because, surprise, she didn't actually kill the men.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't eat the men. She never wanted to eat the men.
Right.
Which his grandfather did make clear.
Yes, he did.
And he also made it clear that she had nothing to do with the drought. She just sort of used it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It was a good opportunity to flex power, say, well, I won't deny or confirm
Right.
anything.
Yeah, it was pretty
That
much.
was a fun power play right
That
there.
was.
Yeah,
I gotta admit, that was
it's a
clever.
very
You stopped our water!
Yeah.
Yes!
And if you want it back, you better give me gold. So yeah, it ends with everyone being happy except for the one lady who had her house burned down.
Well,
Yeah.
Never did.
yeah.
No happy ending for you, basically.
Right.
You just gotta build a new hut.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean,
And that's Kirikou and the Sorceress. Overall, it was very good. The elements of mythology in it, as you keep pointing out, were fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to analyze there. But we did quite a bit of that
Yeah.
during the summary. And then the message was...
I really love the message of this film.
Mhm.
Because, like I said, it wasn't the hero, like, he just goes and stabs the witch and yay, good times.
Yeah.
It was like, he actually wanted to know what her issue was.
yeah, it's
And you don't see that
No.
very often in mythology.
it's teaching kids empathy. It's
Yes.
teaching its viewers empathy rather than, well, there's black and white.
Right.
It's like, well, maybe you should consider something from someone else's point of view.
Exactly.
Mhm. That is a very good point. And our last subject we wanted to talk about, the controversy, which is in quotes because it's stupid. Basically, it didn't get released here because of the
Pre-colonial dress.
Yeah, basically native garb. The women were topless and the children ran around naked. None of it sexualized at all.
Yeah.
And
It's a culture thing.
it's a culture thing.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, it's more of a hang-up on our Western norms. Well,
Yeah.
we come from a Puritan background, unfortunately, and leads us to a lot of hang-ups about sex and body issues, which we're still working out to this day.
Yeah, unnecessary.
Yeah. And I will say it was equal opportunist for the nudity.
Yes.
You don't really see much, and it's never sexualized.
No.
So,
Yeah.
we have questions for you guys. What do you think of this film? Have you seen it? Are you going to check it out?
Yeah.
If so, it is on Amazon. You have to get a special pass for Amazon to watch it because it's part of a foreign films collection. And
you can still buy it. I think if
you
you
can
want
probably
it,
find it on Amazon.
you can find it on Amazon. Definitely real cheap.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's other sources, other video streaming sites and stuff.
It's a little tricky to find.
Little tricky.
Little
Yeah.
tricky, I will admit. This film was very successful, though. It actually spawned 2 sequels and a play. Kirikou and the Wild Beasts was not so much a sequel, but a midquel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. It actually is supposed
Yeah.
to take place during his time when he's trying to traverse the mountain.
Yeah. Well, he's still like.
Yeah. So he had some
That's
other
cool.
adventures during that time
Yeah.
period, which he just didn't really talk about. And then the third one, Kirikou and the Men and Women. I can't find out anything about this film, really. IMDb does not give a summary of it. Wikipedia does not give a summary of it. And I was hoping to find some reviews by the time this was being recorded, but I didn't really find any.
So if anyone knows anything.
Yeah, let me know. So yeah, and the play itself is an adaptation of the first movie, so
Yeah.
check it out. You can find clips of it on YouTube, and overall, it was a very good movie. There is some question about whether or not this could be considered a kids' film. Personally, I think it's more of, do you have issues with bodies and non-sexualized nudity? So I think it's got a great message. The art is traditional and may look dated to some, but I actually thought it was really good. And really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for suggesting this, Maggie. It
You're
was
welcome.
a really great movie, and I'm glad we watched it. What do you guys think? Please post your comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more updates from us about awesome reviews coming out this month. We've got a lot coming out this month. I think you're going to like it because our next review, well, it's something special because it involves a certain Marvel character getting his own movie this month. That's right. Black Panther!
Bum, bum, bum.
Arr. So, stay tuned. As usual, I am your host, Stu.
Teddy D.
Maggie.
And we are Animation Triad.
Kirikou n'est pas grand,
Mais il est vaillant. Mais il est vaillant.